Welcome back, y'all. It's your boy, Guarantee Unique, with part seven, part seven of our Corey Wayne listen along, live audiobook listen along. For those of you that are new here, my name is Guarantee Unique. I'm a 38-time reader of the book, and I know the book so well I could teach a class on it. And I've helped guys get girlfriends, get first kisses, approach anxiety, all that. And this is me just bringing y'all along as I get my reads, and I'll, offer my piece or two, little anecdotes here and there. But for the most part, I'm gonna let the book speak for itself. So tonight's part of the book we're on, this is technically part seven of the whole series that I'm doing here of the book read along, but it doesn't quite sync up with the way the audiobook is laid out. So this is video seven, part seven of the series, right? But tonight we're going to be doing, we're going to be listening along, and we are now on part technically six in the book, the first step. So tonight we're going to be doing part six, the first step, and we'll do that all the way through. We'll stop at part seven, keeping it steady. So that'll be everything we do tonight. In fact, we'll do both. We'll go ahead and do, because these are pretty short videos. So we'll go ahead and knock out both these tonight. We're going to do part six and seven. I'll break it up with timestamps, in the caption in case you want to jump to certain parts. But yeah, so we're going to do part six, the first step, and part seven, keeping it steady. And we'll stop there for the night. So we're doing two parts tonight. All right, here we go. Part six, the first step.
Part 6 The First Step. Your First Date. You do not have to be extravagant on your first date. The idea is to hang out on a date, have fun while you are hanging out, and hook up by making a physical move. The process of seduction is to get closer and closer to a woman until you ultimately end up inside of her. You should make dates in the evening that can lead to having sex at your place or hers. Most women sleep with men by the second or third date. You can take her to dinner, meet up for drinks, coffee, miniature golf, shoot pool, an art museum, etc. You want to go somewhere that facilitates conversation, laughing, and having fun together. Going to the movies, loud music venues, lunches, etc. are not a good idea. You want the opportunity to get to know somebody. Talking creates rapport. If you go to a movie date, the only time you get to talk is in the car on the way to and from the movies, or if you're meeting her outside the theater before the movie or after it's over. At the end of the date, she doesn't know anything about you and you don't know anything about her. When you are in a dark theater, you can't read her body language. It is important to go someplace where you are talking and interacting with each other so you can read where her attraction level is at and work towards raising it. When she starts touching you and getting close, you should then go for the kiss. Kissing leads to heavy petting, which leads to you saying, "Hey, let's get out of here and go back to my place for a bottle of wine," etc. A good way to know if she is ready to be kissed is to look into her eyes while she is talking or you are talking. Then gently look down at her lips and then up into her eyes, then back at her lips, and then back into her eyes again over the course of 4 to 5 seconds. If she looks at your lips at any time when you are doing this, it means she is thinking about kissing you. Be the leader and go for it. Women won't usually make the first move.
I like to keep this in mind and just caveat that you don't have to wait till the end of the date to do it. If a girl's super interested in you and you're seeing these signs, just go for it. It could be at dinner, it could be at the second location, it could be at the last location, it could be within the first 5 minutes of meeting her because she's just that hot into you. Like y'all are. But this literally happened to me. We were in Seattle. We were at this like park that overlooked the skyline, and we knew what it was. Like it was on some like Tinder, like I'm down to hook up if you are type shit. So we meet up. We just get to know each other for like maybe 3 to 5 minutes. We look at the view. It's so romantic that we start making out within under 10 minutes of meeting each other. And then hey, let's get out of here and go back to her place. Boom. I was cracking in under an hour, man. So, it you don't have to wait for the end of the date to just go for the kiss, but the signs matter. And also, movie dates are fucking terrible. Don't do those. They're stupid. That's something you say for like a girlfriend. Like when you're in a relationship and y'all just want to do something chill on a weekend, cool. But when it's like a girl you're just getting to know, first date, second date, third, no, absolutely not. Maybe after you fuck a couple times, sure, but no, not the first date. It's terrible because you can't get to know her.
A lot of rich guys will say, I'm going to fly you to New York in my private plane. Any woman would love to go out and do stuff like that. Before you spend your money doing these kinds of things, you want to make sure you are going out with someone that has a high level of attraction for you personally. Take her to nice and fun but inexpensive places at first until you really get to know her and you know that she is really interested in you. It is important, especially for guys who are successful, not to spend the night talking about your achievements, how much money you make, what kind of
Hmm.
car you drive, what your watch is like, or how much you spend on wardrobe. Most guys talk too much and ruin attraction.
Too
None of this
much.
causes attraction. If a guy starts talking about all these accomplishments, what it says to a woman is that he is insecure about who he is as a man. It's
Super
approval seeking
insecure.
behavior. Google
Hmm.
Corey Wayne, seeking her approval causes rejection, for a detailed article and video I did on the subject. She reads it as a deflection away from who he is as a person. He comes off as needy, insecure, and unsure of himself. The only type of woman that will respond to this type of thing is a woman who is looking to use a guy or one that is looking for security. The most important thing to remember on your date is that a woman wants to know you are interested in her as a woman, not just her body and looks. You show her that by asking questions about her and leading the conversation. This allows you to remain mysterious. Another topic to avoid is talking about your future together. That includes taking her out in the future or at the end of the date, asking her out on a second date. If you start talking about your
Hmm.
future together, you are basically going to lower your chances of having a future with her. You want the topic of a future together to be her idea. To talk about a future together communicates that you don't know how attraction works and that you are not very successful with women in general. Remember, you want her to be curious and unsure of her standing with you. If you tell her everything that's going to happen, there is no anticipation, no mystery, there is nothing to look forward to. You become boring and predictable. Women just want to show up for your date, look hot, and follow
Hmm.
your lead. Google Corey Wayne, 3 ways to seduce women for a detailed explanation on the 3 methods you can use to seduce women successfully. Make sure you click on the blue links in the text on my website articles for related articles and detailed techniques. While you are on the date, you're going to be watching her for signs of growing attraction. Is she touching your hand? Is she touching your arm? Is she looking you in the eyes? One of the things you need to do is to look her in the eyes. Don't be looking around, looking at other women, or checking out other women. You need to be completely focused on her. Remember, sex must be the man's fault, and it is your job to lead the date to a successful conclusion in the bedroom. Google Corey Wayne, sex must be the man's fault. When you look around and check out other women, she's going to think you are being a pig and that you are only out to get laid. As I said before, women like you more if they know you are popular with women. However, they want to
Hmm.
feel more special than all the others you are dating. Your focus needs to be 100% on her having a good time and finding out everything there is to know about your new lady. Otherwise, if she thinks you're just trying to get laid and will ditch her afterwards, she will reject you before you get the chance. Another important point needing to be made is that women remember everything. They will
Yep.
remember where you went, what the restaurant was like, the people around you, and they will remember what they talked about, the color of the tablecloth, etc. Listen up, guys. You need to really focus on the answers a woman is giving you to all the questions you are asking about her. Make no mistake, you will be tested. She wants to know that you were really paying attention and cared about what she said. She will
Hmm.
bring little things up here and there to test whether or not you were listening. If you
Personally, I write shit down, especially when you're dating multiple chicks. You lose nothing by just pulling out your notepad, or the notes app rather, after the date and putting everything you remember, like the high notes, whatever y'all talk about during the date, into your phone. And if you bring up anything the next time, she'd be like, "Wow, your memory's so great. Like you're so thoughtful." I'm like, "No, I just keep notes so I don't mix up Becky with fucking Tiffany." You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then as you go along, obviously you delete the people that don't matter anymore, and you just kind of add more detail to the girl you're with. But shit is clutch. It is very clutch.
pass those tests, it will definitely raise her attraction level because now she knows you are interested in who she is. If you fail her test, she will keep testing you.
Hmm.
Do's and don'ts of the first date. Don't spend the time talking about you. Do let her do most of the talking.
Yeah, just ask a bunch of questions. Keep it simple. She doesn't really want to know about you. She'll ask, but and it's nice if she does. But yeah, He'll say the rest. Just kind of deflect, keep it moving, let her talk.
Don't badmouth your ex girlfriends or wives. Don't badmouth her ex boyfriends or husbands either. Do say positive things about your past relationships or don't say anything at all. Don't overly compliment a woman, except maybe to tell her that she looks nice when you pick her up or meet up, or that you had a good time at the end of the date. Most guys try to give ass kissy compliments to get women into bed to the point that it comes off as being phony or a clinical diagnosis. It comes off as a bribe for sex if you overdo it. Don't take her to extravagant places on the first date. If a guy starts spoiling a woman right away, she will come to expect that kind of treatment. Do take her someplace nice, quiet, intimate, and inexpensive until you get to know her and know that she is really into you for you. Be careful talking about sex, even if she is the one to bring it up. Change the subject after a few playful sexual innuendos. Use it sparingly and then change the subject. Most guys just get themselves into trouble with this subject. Be a charming James Bond 90% of the time and 10% of the time a naughty little boy. Same thing with teasing. Treat her like a bratty little sister no more than 10% of the time, or you will come off as just putting her down constantly. This makes you look insecure if you do. If she is pressing you about past relationships, don't give in to her pressing. Say, I don't kiss and tell with a James Bond playful smirk. Google Corey Wayne, what would James Bond do? Don't treat the service people badly. Many women have been involved in the service industry before in one capacity or another, and if they see you treating another individual in a demanding manner, they will often read that as a sign of the demanding individual you may become later in the relationship. Do tip your waitstaff appropriately. Some guys will shortchange a wait person on tips. I have heard of women who will get embarrassed and slip extra money onto the table. It shows that you are cheap and that you do not appreciate the things that others do for you. The secret of dating. The whole experience of dating and discovering what you have planned in real time is what raises a woman's attraction to you. Her attraction to you increases based on how you ask her out when you call her on the phone and the anticipation of what is going to happen on a date. Don't call her and tell her everything you are going to do on the date, where you are going to go, what time you are going to do this, and what time you are going to do that. Also, don't ask her what she wants to do. Invite her to join you. You want it to be a surprise. You want it to be an unfolding of the evening. Be the leader and lead. The word lead means to go first. So as the day approaches, she is now thinking about you. She's thinking about what she's going to wear. She's telling her friends, and she's looking forward to it. Since you have a definite date, it drives her crazy wondering if you are going to show up, what will happen, how it will go, etc. It creates excitement in her when you do. Remember, you are setting a date sometimes several days in advance. Most guys will call before they come and talk her right out of going out with them.
Hmm.
I actually had one woman I went out with that wasn't ready when I showed up. When I asked her why she wasn't ready, she replied, honestly, I didn't think you were going to show up. I said, I told you that I'm a man of my word. She proceeded to tell me that most guys call her before they come to pick her up. I was being completely different. It set me apart because no guy has ever treated her that way before. When you go to pick her up or meet up, you are a gentleman, but not a doormat. You open the car door and you take her to a fun place. Google Corey Wayne, be a gentleman, not a doormat. It is the experience of having the nice dinner, drinks, bowling, shooting pool, darts, great conversation, etc., and just having a good time. Whatever it is you are doing, for a woman, the whole experience of the date is important. The less she knows, the more it heightens her anticipation and the more her attraction grows. Do not make the mistake of thinking, I took her to dinner and great, now I'm ready to go home and have sex. That is an attachment and an expectation. Women don't operate that way. They warm up to you and their hearts open a lot slower because it is all about the whole emotional experience. You won't be able to sleep with every woman on the first date, but by the second or third date, on average. You have to practice. Google Corey Wayne, hang out, have fun, and hook up for a detailed video and article on my website. Going to 2 to 3 different places in one evening can speed the process up as each place is like a date in and of itself.
Listen up closely, fellas, because I've done this shit multiple times in this exact way, and I'm telling you, my close rate was bananas when you do it this way. 3 locations.
You can meet up for happy hour, then maybe go someplace for appetizers or dinner, and then go shoot some pool or bowling, etc. Doing something physical and playful as the last place you go gives her the opportunity to start touching you.
Another pro tip is the order is like, basically, like you said, somewhere chill, and then dinner, and then something playful to do at the end. Here's the thing, cheat code. You can do all these things in one place, and that would actually expedite it too. Like if you take it to a Dave and Buster's and you just go to different parts in the building, that works just as well. So you can just meet for drinks to get to know each other, and then you find her chill, and y'all can just start bowling while eating food right there at bowling. And then yeah, there's a potential that if the vibe is right, you guys can head back. Or like Top Golf is another good one because you're basically eating and playing. And then, if the vibe is right at the end, cool, you just head back and chill. If not, you can just do something else after, like a walk or something. Um, uh, what was I about to say? So there's that. And then I'm gonna just let him talk. I'll probably remember it though.
You can then make a move to kiss her and potentially take her back to your place or have her follow you there. Don't waste your time with women that have a low level of attraction.
Mhm.
Google Corey Wayne, The Myth of the One. For a
Another thing, the last location, make sure it's near her place or near your place. Strategically lay it out that way because the name of the game is to ultimately get to one of y'all places. I honestly don't mind doing the date closer to her neighborhood because it's a comfort level. And if you end up back at her place, most girls won't do that on the first date. But if you do, she already knows it's a safe space because it's her house. You get what I'm saying? So it's possible. I've done it a few times. So it is possible. And another thing I was going to say, this is what I forgot, is that you trial close after each location. Like, say you don't get the kiss, right? At drinks. You can say, hey, why don't we get out of here and go back to my place? If the vibe feels that kind of thing. Or you can just do it to see what she says. Most of the time, she'll probably say, it's still kind of early. Like, I don't really know you like that. But, I mean, I've had it done before where I pitched a girl after drinks, and she was like, hey, I said, hey, why don't we get out here and go back to my place for a nightcap? She was like, okay. And that girl ultimately became my girlfriend. Like, we ended up fucking, but we were super, super, super into each other. Like, it was, yeah, like hyper attracted to each other. I mean, she wasn't throwing it at me, but she just when she said okay, and she paid for her own food and everything. I didn't do anything, and we ended up back at my place. I gave her a little tour, and she just kind of lingered in the bedroom. I was like, I know what time it is, and there you go. So, um, yeah, back to my point. You can pitch a trial close at the end of every location. So at drinks, let's get out here and go back to my place. If she says no, then you're like, cool. Are you hungry actually? Then that way you naturally progress and just smoothly transition into dinner. And typically she'll be cool by dinner to go back to your place or her place. And if not, like all good. I actually know a place that's super dope. It can help us digest a little bit. We can just do something fun. It's over here. And she was like, oh yeah, that'd be fun. Cool. And just take her to the pool or something. And at that point you pitch and trial close one more time. Take her to the pool or darts or whatever, like some sort of arcade. And if she doesn't, want to go back to your place, then it's pretty much done. Like the date's over. At that point, you've been together for about 3 to 4 hours, and it's getting late, so you can go ahead and call it a night. It's not you like you don't always crack on the first date, but I will say this: when you drop her off or whatever, or you part ways for the evening, you do go for the kiss every time, guaranteed, regardless of the fucking body language, all that shit. You go for the kiss because by the end of the date, if she doesn't want the kiss, that she's either a structured and shy, which is a headache, and you don't want to deal with that, or she's not into you. There you go. Like you just avoid all that bullshit.
detailed article and video on my website you should definitely read. I can't stress this enough. The higher her level of attraction, the easier she is going to make the date and the more fun both of you will have. In
Hmm.
addition, you need to ask yourself this question: how many women have you taken out where you can't even remember their name? Dating can be an expensive proposition. The dollars add up quickly. Do you really want to spend all that money and time on a woman that isn't romantically attracted to you to begin with? Again, when you are on the date, you will be a gentleman. You will hold doors open for her and open the car door. It's part of being a leader and leading the interaction to where you want it to go. When you walk down the street, you will take her hand to lead her across the street, but don't grab her hand and start holding it prematurely. As you are walking side by
Yep.
side, her hand may start bumping yours.
Yep.
Then you can take her
That's when you
hand.
know. Hmm.
These are subtle things that cause her to start reaching out to you and start chasing you. If she's chasing you, she's not dumping you. It gives
Hmm.
you all the power, which is what a woman wants anyway. A
Hmm.
lot of guys think, hey, I'm on a date, I can hold hands or put my arm around her.
No.
Women will let you know when it
She
is
let you
okay
know
to touch. They will
exactly.
give you an invitation. The
Hmm.
invitations are usually subtle, so again, you have to pay attention. When
Hmm.
you are walking down the street, is she constantly bumping into you? Is she tapping your arm or brushing her hand on your arm when she is talking? If she has a really high level of attraction, she may even grab your hand and start holding hands with you or put her arm around you. Then it's okay to reciprocate. It is amazing to see when I pay attention to these things just how much women are telling you without words. It's all about her body language. I've had cases where I'll be walking down the street with a woman and we're on a big sidewalk and I will gradually start walking away from her, and she will either maintain the distance or she will bump into me. If she is bumping into me, that is a sign she wants to be touched. It is her signal to you that
Hold
touching
her
is
hand.
okay.
Yep.
If she is working to maintain that space between you, then she has a lower level of attraction.
Yeah.
On one date with a woman, I was walking downtown
Or she's shy, which either way is it's no fun.
on a wide street that had been closed to vehicle traffic for the evening for pedestrian traffic to the bars and restaurants. We were in the middle of the street, and since there was so much space, I just started slowly walking over to one side away from my date. It was funny to see whether she would keep walking along with me. She didn't even notice it. I was pretty much walking all over the road, having fun with it. It shows that she was pursuing me, and that demonstrates high attraction. Most of the time, she isn't even aware that she is doing this. Inside, you can be chuckling because you are reading her attraction and know exactly where she is at. These are the types of things women will do. If she grabs your hand, then it is okay to hold hands with her. If she puts her arm around you, then it's okay to put your arm around her. The higher her attraction and the more comfortable she feels, the more she will start touching you. You need to let her give the invitation. It's always better that way, and it helps escalate things physically when she reaches out to you. If she has her arm around you and then takes it away, you do the same until she gives you the next invitation. It is another subtle test women use to see if you are pursuing her more than she is pursuing you. When you have passed the test, she will eventually give you another invitation when it's okay to touch her again. Women are like cats that way. All the while you are heading to your destination, you will be keeping it funny and keeping it positive and uplifting. Joke around with her. She will probably ask you about previous women you have dated. She might ask if you are dating other women or if you have been married. You want to give her an answer, but whatever the answer is, you want it to be positive.
Positive. Yep.
Positive topics elicit positive feelings. This creates attraction and causes her to associate feeling good with you.
You.
As I mentioned before, too many guys decide to get all their baggage out on the table. You don't want to do this. Guys want to go on and on about all of their problems. On the date, she should be doing 70 to 80% of the talking. You want to ask questions. Women want to know the guy is sincerely interested in who they are. They want to see that you want to know what they are all about. A lot of guys, not only when they meet women, but when they are out on a date, or even when they call a woman on the phone to ask her out for a date, will either dump all their baggage on her or will sit and talk about all of their accomplishments. Guys try to impress her. They try to do all these extravagant things, but only end up talking her out of liking them. I don't have a problem with mentioning good things, but to discuss intimate details is not something a gentleman would do. Besides, the past is the past. It is between me and the woman in question. A gentleman doesn't go around telling intimate details of a relationship. A woman you
Yeah, gentleman doesn't kiss and tell. So don't really talk about that stuff on the first date. And if you do, spin it positively. Don't talk bad about your ex. The only thing talking bad about your ex does for you is it makes you look like you're a shitty decision maker. Don't do it. If it ended horribly, just say we weren't each other's person, but I learned a lot from the relationship.
have just met should accept and understand this. The chances are high that it will also make her feel more comfortable because she can rest assured that you will treat any information she shares with you in the same manner. Now she can feel more comfortable about opening up to you and sharing more personal things. She knows you will keep your mouth shut and not blab intimate details she may tell you to everyone you meet, especially your guy friends. Plus, the more you talk about her to your friends, the higher the likelihood is that it will get back to her and create problems for you. While you are on your date, pay attention to what she is saying, but don't lean forward as though you are absorbing her presence. Lean back in your seat and be casual. Show her that you are confident and centered. Let her lean toward you. Then you can invite her to sit next to you so you can get even closer. Lean back, spread your legs out, and take up too much space like a king of his kingdom. You should ask for the check and pay since you invited her out, signaling the end of the date without words. While you are doing this, watch for her reaction. Does she seem disappointed? Does she seem as though she could keep on talking and is surprised by you ending the date so soon? These are all good signs that you have raised her attraction level even more. The kiss test. At the end of the date, you're going to want to go for the goodnight kiss if you have not kissed her already. You want to kiss her on the lips and see if she kisses you back. If she is really interested in you, she will kiss you back. If she turns her head and you get her cheek, it shows that she doesn't have any romantic interest in you. At this point, you know that to go out with her again would be a waste of your time. One thing
Yep.
you don't want to do is to go in for the kiss and try to kiss her on the cheek. A woman immediately takes this as a sign of your low attraction to her or as a lack of self confidence. A woman will read it as the kiss of death, even though you might be trying to be a gentleman about it. Google Corey Wayne, never apologize for wanting her. To give her a kiss on the lips shows confidence. It tells her, I know I am good enough for you. Here, let me show you. You are showing her your strength and that you are totally in your masculine. Remember, women are designed to receive a man. It's up to you to be the leader. All night long, you have found out everything about her, and she has found out little bits and pieces about you. You have shown her your interest while at the same time remaining a mystery to her. If this evolves into a long term relationship, she has plenty of time to pull out information about you. By making her work to get to know you, you will remain mysterious and interesting. You'll also make sure she is sincerely into you.
Hmm.
After you give her a goodnight kiss, you're going to say, I had a good time, or it was a nice evening. Don't elaborate. Stay in your center and leave her wondering just how good of a time you had. Make her think about whether everything went all right or not. She will replay the date over in her mind, looking back on all the clues. You are not going to give her the answer. You are remaining a mystery.
If you really want to fuck her up, don't say anything. Don't say you had a good time. Or if she says, ask her if she had a good time, but don't say you did. Just say, so she, they have a good time? And she's like, yeah. Like, great. I'm glad to hear that. And that's it. And if she asks, oh, she just told on herself because she's like, oh, I need to make sure that he did too. It's a good sign if she does. But yeah, don't. That's another little tidbit I learned. Don't even say how you like the date. It'll really like it'll make you so hard to read, and they love that shit. Does he like me? Does he like? I can't. Does he love me? Does he love me not? I can't tell. They love that shit.
The whole time she is thinking about you and how the date went, her attraction level is going up. Now you're going to leave. You're not going to tell her that you will call her. You're not going to set the next date or even talk about going out again. You're going to leave her wondering. It's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. However, if she asks you if you're on her front porch and you're dropping her off and you're making out, heavy petting, and she says, I really want to see you again. Are you free this weekend? Or if she brings up going out on another date or actually asks you out on a date, then it's okay. Otherwise, unless she brings it up, don't ask. If you are not able to escalate things to more than just kissing, or you can tell it's going to take a few more dates for the indoor Olympics to happen, it's time to go. The same calling principle that I outlined previously applies to all dates for the first 2 months. So if you went out with her on a Thursday night, you won't call her until Monday or Tuesday to ask her out for your next date. It's better to always ask, when are you free to get together when setting dates? This should remain consistent for the first 2 months. When you don't call her the next day after your date, she's going to wonder whether you liked her or not. If she is wondering about you, she will like you more. If her
Hmm.
attraction goes up high enough, she may even actually call you. Again, you want her to start chasing you as soon.
Exactly. So the time frame you want to wait is 4 days. That's the sweet spot. At least 4 days. Give her room to breathe. She'll hit you up first if she's really feeling you. He'll fuck her up.
As
Especially
possible.
especially if she's hot. Oh my god. They are not built they never had that shit happen before. So yeah.
This makes things so easy for you. Then you simply set the next date and get off the phone. Having a woman pursue you is the ideal place that you want to get to. There is no doubt in your mind at that point that her attraction is high. The kiss test does not have to wait until the end of the date. If you are reading the signs of attraction correctly, you may find that she is signaling you earlier on the date. I was on my first dinner date with one woman and had been talking for hours. I was doing everything right with asking questions and letting her do 80 to 85% of the talking. At one point, she asked, Can I give you a hug? You are so sweet and I'm having such a good time. I said, Of course. We hugged, and 2 more times after that, she asked me to hug her again. The second time, I sat back down and we started talking some more. She was leaning in really close, and at that point, her chair was right next to mine. I just knew the time was right and that she was ripe for it. I moved over and started kissing her. We were the only ones left in the restaurant, and we actually started making out right there. It was the fulfillment of the kiss test. I had built the anticipation so well at this point that she wanted to embrace me. She didn't actually kiss me, but the fact that she wanted to touch and hold me said that she was open to it. The invitation had been issued, so I didn't wait until the end of the date. Be the leader, make it happen when the signs are there. Do not wait or hesitate. Men are direct and go for what they want. Later, she told me, It really stunned me when you kissed me. I wasn't really ready for that. I was surprised and didn't like it at first. I replied, Yeah, I could tell you really didn't like it since you had your tongue in my mouth. I just didn't kiss her, she was kissing me back. Again, a woman may say one thing, but her actions are saying something else. Google Corey Wayne, pay attention to what a woman does. Here's another example to illustrate how easy it can be when a woman shows the right signs. Weddings are a great place to meet women. Everyone is happy and having a good time, and the chances are, if you find a woman you are interested in, that you will already know somebody that she knows. I went to a wedding for a friend of mine from high school. I was 29 at the time, and his cousin, a beautiful redhead, was 18. During the rehearsal and rehearsal dinner, she kept staring at me and checking me out. The day of the wedding, at the reception, I walked over and started talking to her. She proceeded to tell me she had specifically asked one of her friends at the wedding for a pen and a piece of paper, so in the event that I asked, she could be prepared to give me her phone number and contact information because she really liked me. We ended up hanging out, dancing, and having a good time. During the evening, she was touching me, and at one point, she was even sitting in my lap. After that, we went outside the reception hall and we sat down in the grass. We were talking, and she was sitting real close. I couldn't help myself. I had to kiss her. I mean, what's a guy supposed to do? She had been giving all the signs of an invitation. She was pursuing me during the course of the evening, touching me, telling me she liked me, and even the fact that she had a high level of interest from the very beginning. This girl went out of her way to make everything easy for me. The right approach. I was at a 4-day retreat for personal growth, something that I am very passionate about. There were around 50 people there, all with the same focus. The first night, I was checking out everyone to see what kind of people were there. I spotted a woman with dark hair, dark eyes, tan, a nice figure, and a nice smile. I didn't think a whole lot about her at the time. I thought she was cute, even attractive, but it didn't hit me as a big deal. The next afternoon at lunch, we were sitting at the same table with one of her friends between us. We were talking and got on the subject of movies. Her friend started telling me how she liked the Lord of the Rings movies, and we all went on and on talking about that. The woman I had noticed the day before started asking me all kinds of questions, joined the movie discussion. My attraction actually started going up. I thought, this girl's really charming. There's something about her. She has an energy that I just really like. So as we were talking, I started into my playful mode and started joking around and teasing her. We finished lunch and went back into the event. Later that evening, we all went to dinner together. I was being cocky, but she was also very confident in herself. She started talking about past relationships and men in her life. She told me about how guys would come and hit on her and how they came off very weak. There were stories about guys she had blown off, and they never even realized what had happened. She was used to getting her way with guys, even the ones she dates, because no one stood up to her. She had a boyfriend, by the way, but I still wanted to have some fun with her. She started asking me, what do you do? I told her, I'm an author, a speaker, and most of what I do is to teach people how to reach their full potential. Right now, I'm working on a book to teach guys how to understand women. She laughed and asked, you are teaching guys how to understand women? Her tone was implying that I had no clue as to what I was talking about. It was all a test. I had been teasing her and being playful all day, and then again all night at dinner. She sensed my confidence and cockiness, and she was testing to see if she could deflate me. I started teasing her and being even more playful. She started telling me that she didn't like me and said, you aren't a very nice guy, you're mean. She was being playful, but in a not so playful way. She was trying to intimidate me. Google Corey Wayne, women bluff to test your strength. Everyone around us was having a good time and laughing at the whole interaction between the two of us. Here I was, sitting with a whole group of girls, and she was trying to make me look bad, as though I didn't know what I was talking about. So I started giving her a taste of the information I was working on, which was what I knew about understanding women. I explained the way things are with women, what motivates them, why they do what they do, and why guys do what they do. As I started telling her what I knew about women and explaining all of these things, over the course of about a half an hour, she went from a real hardcore, you don't know anything about women, to, I guess I was wrong, you really do know what you're talking about. She's been testing me, and by staying centered and believing in who I was, she started to change her mind about me. After that, she told me, I didn't really like you at first, but you're actually a pretty cool guy. Beautiful women will often bluff you to test and see if you're really confident. Her bluff was in saying that she didn't like me, and it was her test to see if I would maintain my center and be strong in who I was. I called her bluff, and some of her barbs have been pretty negative. She went from telling me that she didn't like me to telling me that she did, and after a couple of glasses of wine, she started saying, Corey, I love you, you're so sweet. This whole time she was touching me and moved her chair closer to me. We sat there, continuing to talk. I kept my hands to myself, maintaining my composure and leaning back in my chair. She was leaning forward and touching me. We all decided to go back to one of the girls' rooms. Each of us had these big jacuzzis that could comfortably fit 8 people. So we start to walk toward the room, and we get about 10 feet away from the dinner table, and she grabs my hand and told me that she wanted to hold it. I went back to my cabana and got changed, and we all ended up hanging out for a couple of hours. All this time, we were talking, teasing, and joking back and forth. On the third day of the event, she would come over and sit next to me. She would get up and leave with her friends once in a while, but a little while later, she would come back and sit next to me. Remember the cat analogy? At one point, she said, let me crack your toes. So she grabbed my toes and proceeded to crack them. It really hurt, and I said, ow, that hurts. Later in the day, I was sitting outside the event on this low 3-foot wall, and she came over, grabbed my feet, and started cracking my toes. It still really hurt. I got up and said, give me your hand. She gives me her hand, smiling with a look that said, what are you going to do now? I lifted her hand up to spin her around, and as she spins, I spanked her in the butt in a playful but firm way. She turned around with a stunned look on her face, and I just said, brat. She then tried to spank me back. I grabbed her hands and told her simply, I'm the spankor, not the spankee. She said, you can't spank me. I told her, well, if you weren't a brat, you wouldn't get spanked. I was being totally playful, and there was a shift that happened in her. I don't want guys to hear this and think they can just simply get away with something like this. You can only get away with things like this if you totally own who you are. Don't just go out and grab the hands of women you meet and start spanking them. You have to be playful, but totally own your masculinity and be assured of what you are doing. Later that night, which was the last night of the retreat, we were sitting in the jacuzzi talking again. At this point, there was another guy that came into the group. He would be considered a cock blocker. And it was obvious he was also interested in this woman, as well as another one that was present. I was watching this guy continually go over to the one I spanked and touching her, and she was touching him back. I maintained my composure and just sat there, throwing little funny remarks at her. She started telling me how she didn't like it. To show me just how much she didn't like it, she kept swimming over to where I was in the jacuzzi and proceeded to playfully slap or hit me. I would grab her and wrestle with her, dunking her head underwater. Then she proceeded to tell her two girlfriends, Corey spanked my ass yesterday. He can't do that. They told her how they thought it was funny and playful. She was looking for them to gang up on me and bust my chops, which they didn't because they really liked me too. Every few minutes, she was away from me and would say something, and I would throw some funny little barb back at her. She would come back to my side of the jacuzzi and start wrestling with me. One time, I was over by where the seat was, and I pulled her up and out of the water and spanked her bottom and pushed her back into the water. Later, she started again to tell me how she didn't like me, and so on. I looked right at her and said, That's not true. She turned to her friends for support and complained that I was doing this and that to her. Her two girlfriends basically said, We haven't seen anything like this since we were in grade school. It's really fun to watch. It's obvious that you really do like Corey. She replied, I do not. They said, Yes, you do. Every 5 minutes, you keep going over to him, wanting to play with him, touch him, and wrestle with him. You wouldn't do that if you didn't like him. This is the effect you can have on a woman when you're being playful but still in your center. Now, I want to be clear. She did have a boyfriend, so I didn't kiss her or anything. Why? It's just not the right thing to do. I was just playing with her and having fun. I simply won't mess with women who are married or who have boyfriends, but I will have some fun with them. Remember when I said you treat all women the same? The point I am trying to make is that you should always be playful and open to meeting different women. One good thing to understand is that dating, courtship, and love should always be playful. You should always be having a good time with it. We didn't have any serious conversations. They were all humorous and fun. We were sharing stories and making each other laugh. The next morning, we were all saying our goodbyes, and she came over and gave me a hug and said, Corey, I had a lot of fun. I had a really good time with you. That was it. If she had been single, I would have gone for the kiss and later given her the flesh rocket. This also goes back to another point I mentioned earlier. Don't go into a relationship, any kind of relationship, with the thought of what you can get out of it. You should
Yep.
go into a relationship to
To
give. This
give.
woman had a boyfriend. I knew that. I knew I wasn't going to get anything serious out of our time together, so I made it a fun experience for us both. That's how you need to approach all the relationships and women in your life. Always go into it to have fun, be playful, and just be a strong, confident, centered guy. Part 7.
All right, so that concludes that part. And now we're going to head to part 7, keeping it steady.
Keep it steady. Continue the mystery. From the beginning, I have talked about being a mystery to a woman. Let her do all of the work of pulling the information out of you. This is so important, and I really wanted to emphasize that you need to maintain your level of mystery, not just in the beginning, but throughout the relationship. So now you have been out on your first successful date. You have done everything right, and some people say, call her the next day and tell her what a wonderful time you had, just so she doesn't sit around and wonder. I say, wrong answer. You want her to wonder about you because, again, that is going to have a positive effect on her attraction for you. As far as timing, when do you call her? Let's say you have had your first date and everything
Four
went great.
days.
You're going to wait until the next week. You're going to use the same principle you used when you called her for the first date. In the beginning, you date once a week until she starts initiating contact and reaching out to you first.
Yeah, it's typically 4 days, but honestly, if you really want to push it to heighten her, like if she likes you or not, we just wait a full 7. So if you took her on a date on like a Saturday, wait till the following Saturday. But that's like really pushing it out. 4 days is the sweet spot. That gives her enough time to breathe.
Once she starts reaching out to you several times a week, you'll simply set the next date and get off the phone. The idea is men will pursue in the beginning of a relationship, usually through week 2, week 3 on average. And once the woman starts reaching out in between those dates, then the guy's pursuit is over. And from that point forward, all he has to do is wait to hear from her. And then when he does, make the next date and then get off the phone. You're the leader who starts the dating process by going out once per week, and she escalates the frequency of dates by her calling you a day or two later and you setting the next date. As her attraction grows, she calls you more and more. Therefore, you start to see each other more and more. If she ever backs off, always go back to the once per week rule where you initiate one phone call per week to set one date per week. If you had your date with her on Wednesday or Thursday, you're going to call her the following Monday or Tuesday to ask her out for a date by saying, When are you free to get together? The important thing is that you want to limit your dates to once a week until she starts calling or texting you after dates. Then you use her initiated contact to set the next date. When you make your date,
Yeah, it's pretty clockwork too. Once she really starts liking you, like when I was with my girlfriend, before she actually became my girlfriend, she like she just got to the point of hitting me up and was like, "When can I see you again?" And I'm like, "Well, when are you free?" And then Same thing when she actually became my girlfriend. So yeah, it really does become simple. Like you don't gotta really even ask anymore because she'll hit you up before then because she just misses your presence, and then you just say, "Well, when are you free? When can you get together?"
Date, set it up a couple of days in advance. Now, when it comes to saying, when are you free to get together? Don't be a fucking robot and say the same thing over and over. The idea is to ask her what her schedule is like. You could also say something along the lines of, what's your availability this week? What days are you available? Instead of just being like a robot and parroting, when are you free to get together every single time? The goal is to get her to start reaching out to you first, and then you set the next date and get off the phone. This is what causes her to start chasing you. Google Corey Wayne, texting that attracts versus repels. It always shows more confidence and masculinity if you call instead of texting her. However, if she texts you first, it's okay to use texting to set the next date. Assume if she contacts you that she wants to see you. Therefore, make a date happen in as few steps as possible. This is similar to the concept of spoon feeding her your time. When you are not with her, then she is thinking and wondering about you, and this increases her attraction to you. If she calls you to talk, that is her way of saying, I like you. I'm trying to get your attention. That's what women do. The more they like you, the more they want your attention, the more they want your presence. Typically, what happens is after the second or third date, she starts texting or calling you a day or two later. Then, the second or third week, you'll start seeing her about twice a week because she's reaching out to you more and more. By week 5 or 6, you will be seeing each other about 3 times per week. By week 7, she should be starting to fall in love and starting to bring up the topic of being exclusive. Google Corey Wayne, how to keep a relationship casual when she wants to be serious. The pursuit. If she does happen to call you, remember, the phone is for making dates, not being her therapist, emotional tampon, or gay male girlfriend.
Hmm.
You need to maintain the attitude of a busy guy. You will say, hey, what's going on? She may say, oh, I just wanted to tell you that I had such a great time the other night at dinner and just wanted you to know that I was thinking about you. These are good signs. The fact that she has called you means that she is now pursuing you, which is a great thing. It means that you did a good job on your first date. Not all women are going to call you after the first date. Actually, very few of them will, except the ones that have an extremely high attraction for you to start with. If they do call you, you can simply say something along the lines of, great, well, I had a really nice time too. When are you free to get together next? She might say, I'm free Sunday and Tuesday. And then you reply, great, how about Sunday, blah, blah, blah. And she'll reply, okay. And then you make definite plans to meet up or pick her up. The goal is to eventually get the woman to start pursuing you. If she's pursuing you, it means she really likes you. But if she hasn't called and you went out on a Monday, you are going to wait until the following week to call her and ask her when she is free. If you do everything right for the first 2 months, she will be in love with you by the end of the second month. By week 7 or week 8, she will be calling or texting you 2 to 3 times a day, and you will pretty much be together all of the time. Regardless, for the first 2 months, the phone is for setting appointments, period. It is not for getting to
Hmm.
know her.
No.
Salespeople sell you in person, not over the phone. If you give away all the information about yourself over the phone, it makes you boring and predictable. You are not being centered. All of a sudden, you will see yourself going from a guy that has been really busy, maybe dating 10 other women, to a guy that has nothing else going on. A few weeks into the relationship, if you start doing that, she will stop pursuing you. Google
Hmm.
Corey Wayne, Why Chasing Women Guarantees Rejection, and Corey Wayne, Excessive Contact Causes Rejection. You will start pursuing her again, and she won't be as eager to see you. This is because you have actually been turning her off. She's getting bored because you are acting like a woman, not a man. Google Corey Wayne, Women Need to Wonder About You. So it's a dance. It's more of an art than a science. It is a balance. You have to understand that you always have to read her level of attraction. This is an important concept. If she is always chasing you, then she's not dumping you. She can't be breaking up with you if she is pursuing you. If she is calling you all the time, keep the conversation short. Tell her you are really busy, but you really would love to see her and ask her when she is free to meet up. Make a definite date. Don't let her try and give you the call back to confirm. She will respond, great. Initially, in the first month or two of dating, you haven't built an emotional bond with her yet. Google Corey Wayne, you've got nothing to prove to women. You're kind of on probation in her eyes. She is slowly opening up to you emotionally as long as you continue to pass her tests and do things right. Over the long term, once you have started to successfully open her up to you emotionally, because of your strength, she will continue to open up more and more. She will want more and more of your presence, time, and who you are as a man. What usually happens to me is that the first couple of weeks, I will be the one that calls and asks her out on a date. As she gets comfortable, her attraction level starts to get to a 7 or an 8. Then she will actually start calling me. When she calls, I ask her out for the next date. Just remember, until she is in love with you, you want to stay off the phone, even if she is the one calling you. When she calls you, take the opportunity to make the next date with her. If you are letting her come to you by setting dates when she contacts you, you'll never have to worry about over pursuing and turning her off. Google
Yeah.
Corey Wayne, let women come to you. The important concept to grasp is the need to back off. In my situation, I had met a woman I really liked. We started dating, and at one point, she started calling me all the time. I always answered her phone calls and was always available. We started
That gets tricky. There's a few guys I've talked to who had girlfriends who were kind of needy and on the younger side, so they were just big on texting. I was like, you're training her inappropriately. Like you want that kind of behavior to show itself early so you can train it out of her. If you just constantly texting her, she's going to get accustomed to that. So when things pick up at work, or maybe you're busy because you got hobbies, or you hang out with your boys or your family or whatever, she's like insecure about the whole thing now because this is a complete change and you're acting different. But you trained her that way. So of course she's going to be concerned. Like anybody would be. Like, why are you acting weird now? You could be being perfectly normal and natural and, you know, not cheating or anything. And she'll just assume it just because it's so weird. But you trained her wrong. So I always just don't text a girl much. The only time I ever text her more than what my current rate is, which is really not ever, is when she says, "Hey, it'd be nice to hear from you more." That's all. Both girlfriends, both of my exes did that. That's when I knew it was time to talk to them more. Because she was like, "Yeah, I just, it'd be nice if you checked in during the week, because, like just so I'm not dead or anything." Or what the other one say? She was like, "It'd be nice if you checked in, just like, I don't know, I just miss your face. I don't know, So of course, like, yeah, of course, baby." And then what I did is I mixed it up. You don't just call her extra because she wants to hear from you more. That's training her poorly. I kept it romantic. Okay? So I mixed up three random things. This is for girlfriends only, not some chick you just cracking. Three things: an extra call, a gift, or a like a random gift like flowers or some shit, right? Or a FaceTime call. Do one of those three things at random every week on an extra day. So if you typically call her on Wednesdays or whatever, you know, do the random thing on the Friday when you know she's free. She will fucking melt. So, yeah.
seeing each other a lot. Suddenly, without my paying attention to the signs, she was starting to tell me, I'll call you when I'm on my way, and giving me other types of wishy washy responses. What happened is I was no longer making definite plans and was placing myself at her beck and call. Without realizing it, I was slipping into that mode where I thought, okay, we've been dating long enough and I can just hang back a little. No big deal. We started talking on the phone more and more and seeing each other in person less and less. The end result was eventually she reached the point where she called and said, I'll call you when I'm on my way. I replied, no problem. We never set a definite time and I went along with it. Then she started telling me some wishy washy nonsense about her cousin wanting to come over, and I said, we have a date tonight. I'm here waiting for you. At that point, she canceled on me, and I didn't hear from her for several days. What happened was that I was allowing her to totally have her way with me. She would make plans when she wanted to make plans and call me when she wanted to call me. My being at her beck and call was being weak. She was no longer curious. At that point, she knew she could have me. I wasn't paying attention to her attraction level. She wasn't in love with me, so it was way too soon for me to be doing the things I did in this situation. What I want you to understand is that if you screw up, let's say you're dating and she's calling every day, and then all of a sudden she backs off, don't call her because she didn't call you. 9 times out of 10, it's a test. You need to hang back and wait. Go back to the once a week rule. If you are talking to her every day and then the last time you hear from her is on a Wednesday, don't call her until the following Monday or Tuesday to ask her out for a date. Make sure it is a definite date. If she won't give you a definite date, do the takeaway. If she responds with, okay, we'll do it some other time, wait until the following week to call and ask her out again. If you still can't make a definite date with her, don't bother calling to ask her out again because at that point, for whatever reason, her attraction level has dropped too far. Remember, if she likes you, she will help you. Pay attention and don't get sloppy. Another example I can give involves a friend of mine. He had met a woman he really liked. When he first met her, he made it very clear that he liked her. He was talking about taking her out on a date and was able to get her phone number. He called her the next day and got her voicemail, and she never returned his call. A few days later, he called her again. Now, to explain this a little better, she gave him her cell phone number. I asked, when you called, did it go straight to voicemail? And he told me, each time I called, it would keep ringing and then finally go to voicemail. I told him, okay, it's on her cell phone. You left 2 messages, which you know she has received. She obviously has her cell phone on and knows when she has missed calls. Don't call her again. You've left two messages, and if she's interested, she will call you back. If you keep calling her, she's going to see you as weak and needy, and she will definitely not return your calls. You already did a sloppy job when you first met her. At this point, the only thing for him to do was to walk away. So he didn't call her. A week went by, and he really wanted to call her to find out what happened. I told him, just hang back, dude. She will either call you or she won't. If she doesn't, it's because you came off as too weak when you met her. Over 2 weeks went by before he came to me and said, Corey, you're not going to believe what happened. I said, let me guess. She called you. He replied, yes. I asked, did you make a definite date? He said, yes, we're going out Thursday. I told him, good job, dude. I had coached him what to do if she did call. Don't talk on the phone for an hour. It will lower your mystery and reduce the anticipation. Make a definite date, get her address, and tell her you're going to pick her up or give her the place or address where you want to meet her. Mention that you were busy, but you look forward to seeing her and get off the phone. He went out with her, and they've been together for over 8 months now. Had he continued to call and pursue her, she most likely would have never gone out with him. He would have completely missed his opportunity. It was over 2 weeks before she finally called him back. The bottom line is that if she is interested in you, she's going to call you. Don't start running after her. Like the cat, you will only chase her away. Google Corey Wayne, women are like cats, men, dogs. All women, whether you're just starting to date or you have been together for a long period of time, would test you by not calling you. Even if she is totally pursuing you and calling you every day, at some point, she will test you by not calling. Don't run after her, especially if this happens within the first 2 months. Wait until the following week to call her, set a definite date, and get off the phone. If she is someone you have been dating and are in a serious relationship with and she stops calling, you also need to let this go. Call her up in next week. Obviously, she is upset about something if she goes from calling and texting you 2 to 3 times a day for several months and then stops calling you suddenly. Be indifferent and say, hey, how are things going? Sometimes women will stop calling to test you. If things are too easy and just going along, she will back off on purpose to see if you run after her. Stand your ground. You can't react to the fact that she has all of a sudden stopped calling you. If you do, she will see you as being needy and back off even more. If a woman calls you in those early days of dating and has something she wants to talk about, just tell her, honey, I want to hear everything about it. Why don't you tell me all about it when I see you tomorrow night? Or tell me all about it when I see you on Tuesday. I want to hear all about it then. That way I can give you 100% of my attention. I'm really jammed up right now and I can't talk. Stay off the phone until she is completely head over heels in love with you. By staying off the phone, you are limiting your contact with her. It builds anticipation and lowers your chances of talking her right out of liking you. While she is waiting for the day to come when she gets to see you again, her attraction level is going up. Once it gets to a 9 and she is completely head over heels in love with you, she's going to be calling you all the time anyway. She will start calling you every day. Only then can you loosen up a little bit, but keep in mind that the phone can make things boring and predictable. Some guys get hung up on, oh, I'm having this great conversation with this girl, but they never go out on dates with her. Unless you're going out on dates, sleeping together, etc., you don't have a romantic relationship. You are only friends. Google Corey Wayne, how to turn a friend into a girlfriend. Moving into relationships. How do you know when it's time to go steady? When she is emotionally ready, usually by week 7 of dating, she will bring it up. Until then, hang out, have fun, and hook up. Rinse, recycle, repeat.
Yep.
You just gently lead so she thinks it's her idea. She'll let you know when she wants to go steady. Keep dating other women until she tells you she wants to be exclusive or until she does not want you to date any other women because she's not dating anyone else. Remember, when she brings up the topic, don't assume she wants to be exclusive. Ask her, what do you mean? If she
Hmm.
says, where is this going? Put who you are out into the world and accept whatever comes back. If you love any other way, it is attached, needy love. Real love is none of these things. I wanted to give you an example of how it looks when a woman basically says, I only want to date you. I was dating a girl several years ago that I really liked. I was also still dating other women. She knew I was.
It's a common mix up that guys do, man. I did this one early on. Like, I would, that's what you see in the Disney movies. Like, you want to be my girlfriend? Like, bro, don't worry about that shit. Ever. Hang out, have fun, and create romantic situations that you end up in her bedroom or yours by the end of the night. Rinse, recycle, repeat. That's it. It is not your job to be, what are we? What is this? And buying her roses and flowers and, oh, it's Valentine's Day. Like, I wish we could spend time together. You look like a fucking pussy. Like, especially here in the West, absolutely not. In Japan, sure, because they're way more traditional over there, and they actually have this thing. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically like a traditional thing where if you don't ask for her to basically be your girlfriend and admit that to her by like the second date, then she just dumps you. because traditions over there are like that. Like that's just it's just a culture. It's just a culture. So, um, yeah, just a little different, but uh, that is definitely not the way they do it here in the West. So, yeah, just it's not our job.
I was dating other women, and she was dating other guys too. It came to a point where we were seeing a lot of each other. We had been dating for a couple of months, and we were seeing each other 2 or 3 times a week. We were driving in my car one day, and she said, I know you have these other girls you are friends with that you also date. Then she jokingly added, but you better not be sleeping with any of them. That was one way for her to tell me, I want you all to myself, and that she wanted to be exclusive. Later on in the same conversation, she said, I know you have a lot of other women that are friends, and you've dated a lot of different girls, but if I found out that you were still dating other women, I'd be pretty upset. After my asking the what do you mean question, she finally came right out and said, I don't want you to be dating anybody else. I want you to be dating only me. I responded by saying, what do you mean? Are you saying I have to get rid of all these other girls? She replied, yes. I answered, well, can I keep just one of them? At this point, I'm teasing, of course, and I'm being playful about it. And she said, no. I asked, does this mean I have to burn my little black book too? She said, yes. I said, what if I keep a photocopy just in case? She said, nope, you have to get rid of your book. She was laughing the whole time we were saying this, but this was how she came out and said, I want you and I want to be exclusive. This is what I want. Never forget, even when you are moving into more serious topics in your relationship, love is playful. Keep it funny and positive, even with serious subjects. Don't get into a serious discussion thinking you have to do things a certain way. Love is supposed to be fun. Don't talk about your future because you will lower your chances of being in it. Let her be the one to bring it up. You need to make it her idea. It's like that in nature. You see a lot of animals competing for a female, and she decides which male she's actually going to mate with, who is suitable, and who is acceptable to her. It's the same thing with men and women. Women are going to decide who they want to date exclusively and who they don't. Remember, the couple that plays together stays together. Think of it as though you are two children always wanting to have fun. That is the approach you need to take with your relationships to keep the magic alive long term. A guy that understands these principles doesn't need to ask where a woman is as far as her interest is concerned or where the relationship is going. He would be acting like a woman if he did. He always knows where her attraction level is. He is always going to judge a woman by what she does. Most guys don't really understand what the meanings of her words are. Testing during the first 60 days. Let's say a woman breaks a date with you. Your relationship has been going along well, and all of a sudden she starts breaking dates. Right after she has broken a date, she says, but I can't wait to see you again. Men scratch their heads in confusion, thinking, what does that mean? If she really wanted to see you, guess what? You'd be going out with her. You would be spending time with her. You have to understand what the meanings of the words are. Guys tend to project their attraction and assume it's mutual. Another thing that's really important to remember is that if a woman shares information with you, you always want to remember it. If a woman goes out on a date with you, she will remember the color of the tablecloth. She can tell you what outfit she was wearing, what you had for dinner, what she had for dinner, and what the bottle of wine was. She remembers everything. Once again, you're left scratching your head thinking, what? You will be tested later to see if you were really listening. It may be 2 or 3 dates down the road or 2 or 3 years down the road, but she is eventually going to say, oh, remember when we were talking about this? Remember when I told you that story? If your response is, no, I've never heard that story, she's going to know that you weren't listening to her. That goes over like a lead balloon. So when you are looking her in the eyes and acknowledging this stuff, you have to remember because there will be a test later. If you fail that test, then she will start throwing other
And this is why you write shit down.
things at you to see if you were listening that time. You will start hearing these age old words, you don't listen to me. And you will give the age old response, yes, I do. When a woman says you are not listening to her, she is indicating that you are not remembering the things she's saying or understanding where she's coming from. Google Corey Wayne, how to communicate with women effectively. In her mind, you are not listening to her. You may be looking at her, but are you hearing what she is saying? Are you remembering everything she is saying? Granted, we may not remember things as well as women do, but you had better start remembering the gist of the conversation. It will make her feel hurt and create unnecessary drama. Women are always going to push to see what your boundaries are. They might say things playfully when they're dating. If you don't do this for me, I'm not going to see you anymore. My ex-girlfriend from London would tease me and say, well, I'm not going to come see you then. I'm not going to come see you next month. Or I'm not going to come see you in a few weeks. And I would respond, okay, well, I guess it's time to get out the old black book and call up some of my old girlfriends then. She said, you don't have a black book. I replied, yes, I do. I just hid it in a very safe place. She said, well, I'm not going to come see you. I answered, okay, you're not going to come see me. I'm sorry for all the fun that you're going to miss out on. I guess I'll just have to spend my time with somebody else. I would just banter and be playful. It was her way of testing because guys will bite into that and say, what do you mean you're not going to come see me? She then replies, oh, I'm thinking about not coming. I have a lot of things going on. And he'll say, but I really want to see you. And then she'll say, well, that's really sweet, but it's her way of testing to see, are you really strong? In this situation, she wanted to know that if she didn't come, I would still be myself without her being there. She was trying to test and see how badly I really wanted her to come see me. Her tone was serious when she called, almost as if to say, hey, something might be coming up. I took on an attitude of being jokingly indifferent in this case. She was bluffing to test and see where she stood. She did come to see me, and later on, when we were driving back from the airport, she said, were you worried that I wasn't going to come? I gave her a joking glance and replied, no, I knew you were going to come. I knew the only reason you threw that out there was just to test to see if you'd get a rise out of me. I never doubted you were going to come. She broke down and laughed so hard, she admitted that I was right. The whole thing had been a test, and she was just teasing and playing around to see if she could get a reaction. She was bluffing to test my strength. Again, women will always test you. If things have been going well, she will test just to stir things up and make it exciting. She will do it just to make life interesting and break up the monotony. Anytime a woman senses a weakness, she's going to test you and exploit it more. If she senses you are needy, or maybe she has said something that made you jealous, then she's going to do a lot more of what made you jealous. She's going to do more of what made you feel needy just to make sure you really aren't needy. The more she senses the weakness, the more she's going to push and the more she's going to test. You have to become comfortable with being yourself. You need to make it part of who you are. Sooner or later, you will own it, and you have to own it, because if you can't maintain it later in the relationship, if you ever let that down, you are not the person she thought you were in the first place. She will see weakness and test and pull away, which makes you start to pursue, and that will drive her away even more. You have to be strong and in your center. You need to be indifferent and walk away if necessary. A woman has to know that if she pushes you too far, you will walk away and never look back. The strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. Until she
Yep.
knows and feels that, you are never going to completely own her heart. The big bounce.
Okay, we're almost there. Yeah, this is kind of when it gets into relationship territory. Almost there.
I want to talk for a moment about backing up when things start to get squirrely. What happens if you have been seeing a woman consistently and now she doesn't seem to get excited about seeing you? Or you can tell her attraction is dropping. You always want to be aware of that. What is happening is the anticipation is not where it needs to be, and you are not being mysterious and unpredictable enough. It's time to pull back a little bit, back up. If normally you call her back right away when she calls you, wait an hour or two. If you always answer the phone calls when she calls, let it go to voicemail. It is taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Women pull away, they bluff, and they test. The more you chase after them, the more they will run away and the more they will test. Remember, the ideal place to be in a relationship is with the woman pursuing you. Back up and let her find the thrill of the chase again. Guys should never call or pursue more than 20 to 30% of the time. Anytime a guy does more than 30%, the woman slowly loses attraction. When dating a woman who has just come out of a long-term relationship or marriage, you have to keep in mind that her feelings are going to be really raw.
Super hot and cold, fellas. This is extremely common. Anytime you're dating a chick straight out of a relationship or going to divorce or whatever the fuck, it's gonna be super hot and cold. This goes with both genders. I've given this advice to women about dudes they couldn't quite figure out, and they were like, he's going through a divorce or he just got out of a relationship. I'm like, that's why he's hot and cold. Like, you're just his safe place right now. Don't fuck that up. Like, he's not gonna give you a relationship because he's literally going through a divorce. You're just good vagina. Same thing as dudes. You do your job. The Rockies have a phrase: know your role and shut your mouth. You're just Mr. Good Dick Man. Drop off some penis, shut the fuck up, and don't be a headache because she's already dealing with that with all the stress of the other stuff. Do your job.
Emotional healing takes time. I had one girlfriend that I was really good friends with. I used to do an infomercial in Orlando, and she was my co host. I could tell there was chemistry between us, and I actually took her out because all the signs of high attraction were there. We had a lot in common, and our resumes were almost identical. We went out the first and second week. When I called the third week to ask her out, all of a sudden I was getting real wishy washy answers. Everything seemed as though it had been going great, and her attraction level was going up. The week before, when we were kissing, she almost sucked the tongue out of my mouth and had invited me into her apartment at the end of our date. I later found out that she had started seeing a guy she had dated for about 2 years. She had broken up with him about 6 months before and then got back together with him. That's what happened. Keep in mind that the emotions of women who are on the rebound are very raw and they may display very high levels of attraction. You could go out and have a great date, and all of a sudden, they don't ever want to see you again. They can't see you anymore, and you are left scratching your head again. Why? What happened? They weren't emotionally ready yet. That's all it takes. One other important point for avoiding the big bounce is don't try to make your girlfriend, your wife, or your lady your mama or your therapist. If you've had something hard to deal with in your life emotionally or dealing with emotional baggage, don't cry every night in your woman's arms. It might be okay the first night, but if it's an ongoing thing and you're looking for someone to take care of and baby you, it's one of the quickest ways to turn your lady off. Why? You're simply acting like a woman. You must be the leader. Save your sad stories and insecurities for your best buddies.
Yep. Do not make your mama into you. Do not make your girl into your mama or therapist. And hear me, fellas. I literally dated a clinical psychotherapist. Do not. She was like, "Why won't you open up? Like, it's okay." Do not. I repeat, do not fucking open up to your girl emotionally. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not saying to not ever tell her anything ever. I'm not saying that. It's not that black and white. If you had a hard day at work, yeah, you could say it was kind of annoying. That's it. Leave it there. Do not come home bringing the drama for your mama, bitching and whining and pining every single day to your girl, especially if you ain't about to do nothing to get results and actually handle shit. Like, no matter how feminine she is, you will turn her off eventually. And if you're dealing with like a fucking psycho who's crazy, she'll also just weaponize that stuff that you tell her. Like, just don't. Talk to your boys, talk to your therapist. Feminine women are built to deal with masculine problems. Do not vent to your fucking girl. You got about 3 to 6 months of floundering before her ass just don't. She can't even understand why she doesn't feel the same way anymore for you. I don't make them this way. This is just what it is. So if you want to fuck up your relationship, vent to your girl.
If you're looking for a woman that is that giving, you are looking for someone that is totally in her feminine energy. If that's where she is at, she isn't going to want to deal with your neediness. A woman in her full feminine wants a man that's in his full masculine. She wants a strong, centered, confident guy.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
The L word. When I tell a woman that I love her, I usually let her say it to me first. When she is ready, she will come right out and say it. Most guys on the first date or the second date are already saying, I love you. Women respond by pushing that neediness away. What? I don't even know you yet. As I said
Exactly.
before, guys are visual for the most part. Guys fall in love through their eyes and women through their ears. Men go instantly to that place of, oh, wow, I'm going to marry her. Women
Mm-hmm.
take longer. Women go out on first dates with the attitude of, let's
Let's
just
just
see
see what
what happens.
happens. Yep.
How this usually unfolds is that you start dating her and you have the first 2 months of the relationship. You're going out with her once a week, and somewhere around week 7, she will move into the I love you phase. If you do everything right, she will be head over heels in love with you after 2 months or week 8. The more you screw up, the longer it will take for her to fall in love. As you get toward the end of those 2 months, and she has said those magic words, I love you should have already seen it coming. By now, you should have known exactly where her attraction was because you have been watching for the signs every step of the way. Some women may have a harder time saying the actual words, but again, you will have been watching for all the signs. You will know when she has reached that level. If she's calling you all the time, calling you once or twice a day, I can't wait to see you again. I miss you so much. That tells you exactly where she's at. I'm dying to see you. I had such a great time the other night. When can I see you again? It is her way of saying, hey, I'm wide open to whatever you want. She is telling you, I want your attention. I want all of your presence. If you follow the script of just setting the next date when she reaches out to you, you'll pretty much be together all the time by week 7 or 8. If she's totally in love with you, she's going to be calling you all the time anyway. That way, you never have to worry about pushing things along too fast. Since she's reaching out to you, you'll be spending more time together at her pace. She opens up to receive you more and more as her attraction level rises. You won't even have to call her anymore once she starts calling and texting you several times a week. When she does call you to talk, you just make your date on the phone and say, great, tell me about it when we go to dinner, etc. It
Mm-hmm.
will make her anticipate spending time with you. Oh, I can't wait to see him. When you finally pick her up and go out, she can just completely unload all the stuff she has wanted to share with you.
Yep.
You will be able to see how excited she is to see you. You will be
Mm-hmm.
able to feel it when she showers you with her affection and love.
And a talkative woman is a happy woman.
It's a lot more fun that way, and it makes things really easy and simple for you.
And that wraps it up tonight, fellas. Thank you for listening. This has been episode 7 or part 7 of the video. And next time we'll get into the next part. All right. Thanks. Have a good night.